Court calls the case. The People versus Michael Johnson.
Michael Dobie for the People.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Marcia Craich here on behalf of Mr. Johnson. Michael Johnson, can you please state your name?
Michael Johnson.
Oh, there he is. Okay. What are we doing?
Well, Your Honor, I guess I'm a little confused. We would like to waive up to circuit court to take advantage of the felony drug court, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Johnson, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand that a preliminary examination is a proceeding where the people would have to show by probable cause that the offense alleged was committed and that you committed it.
Yes.
And you understand that you'll not have that hearing. You'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes, Your Honor.
People also waive their right.
The People waive, Your Honor. I just want to make clear we have not agreed to felony drug court in this case. That we could have once it's waived up there, but it's not. This waiver would not be conditioned on him being admitted into that.
And Your Honor, to be transparent, okay, we have a little bit of an issue. Okay. Go ahead, Mr.
Who?
That he should be in the jail right now because the court ordered him to report.
Yes,
on
that is correct.
July 20th, and he's not there.
Yes, that is correct. And so, Your Honor, I wanted to be transparent and, tell the court
Yes,
that.
he was supposed to report to the jail. So why are we doing this? And why isn't he at the jail?
Well, the reason why we are doing this is because hopefully we can get up to felony drug court. That's the waiver part
Why
of this.
isn't he at the jail?
He explains to me that the reason why he is not at the jail is that it would be a loss of employment. He works for an apartment complex where his housing is tied to his employment. So not only would he lose his housing, he would also lose his job. And he is telling me he'd be willing to test today.
Oh, so I order somebody to jail. Counsel doesn't put that right out there at the very beginning, which you should have, Ms. Cracher. And now you want me to negotiate with him.
I'm
Really?
asking you to consider.
No,
Your
I'll tell you what, I'm going to give him another date. He better get himself to the jail.
Your Honor, I want court to be clear. I instructed him to do that on several occasions.
Well, we may just have to go get him. I'll adjourn it out 2 weeks, but he better get himself to the jail. Well, he was supposed to be there the 24th, I think it was.
I believe it was 2 weeks ago, Your Honor.
But he decides he's going to do it his way. So I'll adjourn it out. Bench warrant will issue, no bond. So if he stopped, we'll get him.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls the case, People versus Mark Stopke.
Alex Chabalowski for the People.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. David Shan on behalf of Mark Stopke, who is appearing via Zoom. Mark, can you please state your name for the record?
Hi, Your Honor. This is Mark Stopke.
Okay, what are we doing?
Your Honor, we're going to waive the preliminary examination and proceed to circuit court. We believe that's the best way to get Mark into felony drug treatment court.
Sir, you understand what your counsel just indicated?
Yes, sir, I do.
You understand that a preliminary examination is a proceeding where the people have to show by probable cause that the offense alleged was committed and that you committed it.
Yes, sir. Yes, Your Honor.
You understand you'll not have that hearing and you'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes, Your Honor.
People also waive their right.
Yes.
Preliminary examination having been waived, defendant is bound over on a single count.
We'll waive formal reading. Defendant will stand mute.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute. Court will enter not guilty plea. Pretrial will be set for
September 13th at 1:30 with Judge Conlon.
September 13th, 2023, 1:30 before Judge Conlon.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you. Bond will continue. Thank you. Court calls the case of the people versus Marshall Thomas.
Nicole Hughes on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Tiffany Hughes here on behalf of Mr. Marshall Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, can you state your name, please?
Yes, sir. Marshall Thomas. Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon. All right, what are we doing on this case?
We'd like to set this for a preliminary examination, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination will be August 15th, 2023, 9 a.m. That's before Judge Valvo.
Is it
Bond
Malvo
will
or Valvo? I'm sorry.
I'm sure the Chief Judge of the 15th District Court would love that you cannot pronounce her name. It's Valvo, V-A-L-V-O.
Okay, thank you.
I'll let her know that you don't know who she is. All right, thank you. Bond continued.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Court calls the case. People versus Brandon White.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Grace Broughton appearing on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Robert Andretz appearing on behalf of Brandon Wick. We are both appearing via Zoom and we have no objection to appearing by Zoom. Mr. Wick, will you please state your name for the record?
Brandon Wick.
All right, very good. All right, what are we doing today?
Well, Your Honor, Ms. Broughton and I have had an opportunity to discuss the case, and there are still some photographs that neither party has in our possession. She has already emailed the Sheriff's Department to try to get those photographs between now and another date. So we'd just be asking for the court to set it for August 31st, if possible, because I believe Ms. Broughton has some travel coming up here, and we're trying to accommodate that.
Thank you, Mr. Andres. And yes, Your Honor, that's all true.
Funny. So he picked a date, blamed it on Bro, and then and it's really for him. I see what he was doing. No, that's fine. That's fine. He was acting like he was Mr. Nice Guy.
Your Honor, the date does happen to work for me too, but yes.
Oh yeah. By the way, I'm good. All right. August 31st, 2023, 9 a.m. Bond will continue.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Thank you, folks. Court calls the case. People versus Ryan Wojcik Andrews.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Grace Broughton appearing on behalf of the people and standing in for the attorney of record, Amy Reiser.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. Uwe Daus appearing with and on behalf of Mr. Wojcik Andrews. Ryan, would you please unmute and identify yourself? There he is.
My name is Ryan Wojcik Andrews.
Thank you. Judge, we have long been in discussion with the Passier's office about how to resolve the case. We received the last word, I understand, on that today, a couple of hours ago, and leaving no time yet to discuss it in depth with Mr. Wojcik Andrews and the family. You may understand it's a mental health case and a serious decision to be made. I would ask for one more and not too long an adjournment. If we could be back in 2 weeks, then we will know what we'll do.
Without objection, August 17th, 2023, 9 a.m. as your Zoom invite indicates. Bond continued.
Very good.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Thank you. Court calls the case. People versus John Fleming.
Alex Chabalowski on behalf of the people.
Your Honor, good afternoon. Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Fleming. Mr. Fleming, will you unmute and state your name? Your Honor, I'm not sure I saw him, to be honest. See?
Really? A Simon client that didn't show?
Yeah, that's...
I know.
Actually is unusual. Yeah. Your Honor, I have a number of...
pleasure to issue the bench warrant.
Well, Your Honor, I have a number of matters, and I'm going to have Ms. Yu in the background try to locate him, please, if that's all right. If we could just pass this.
Fine.
Thank you.
Mark that down that we did something nice for Simon. Court calls the case. People versus John Hagan.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Grace Broughton appearing on behalf of the people and standing in for the attorney of record, Amy Reiser.
And Your Honor, Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Hagan. Mr. Hagan, will you please state your name?
John Hagan.
Okay, there he is. All right. What are we doing?
Your Honor, Ms. Reiser and I spoke. Ms. Reiser is visiting a request I have made from her, I should say, pardon me. And so I'm hesitant to say this, but she has asked me to request a date. I think maybe I should have Ms. Broughton request a date here, but
As far as I know, Miss Reiser's not going on vacation.
Wow.
He'll be covering all of my cases.
Wow.
She has asked me.
I know. She seems so nice with that smile, and then bam. But anyway, go ahead.
She asked me about August 31st. I'm available if the court would consider putting it over to that date.
Why not? Everybody's going to be here, huh? All right. Without objection, August 31st, 2023, 9 a.m. or your Zoom invite indicates bond will continue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Court calls the case People versus Richard Herman.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Grace Burton appearing on behalf of the people, standing in for the attorney of record, Amy Reiser.
And Your Honor, Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Herman. Mr. Herman, will you please state your name for the record?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Richard Herman.
What are we doing?
Your Honor, really the exact same request. Ms. Reiser and I are in discussions, and she's asked to put the matter over to that same date of August 31st to contemplate my proposals. Also, there's some continuing discovery. But
understood. August 31st, 2023, 9 a.m. Bond continue.
Perfect. Thank you, Judge.
Court calls the case People versus Jesse Johnson.
Nicole Hughes on behalf of the people.
And Your Honor, Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Johnson. Mr. Johnson, will you please state your name for the record?
Yes, sir. Jesse Johnson.
All right. And what are we doing on this one?
Your Honor, Ms. Hughes notified me, I'll say yesterday, the day before, that there's some additional discovery and potentially leading to different charges. So she and I are going to talk about that. And Ms. Hughes, how long of period of time do you think you would want to revisit these issues?
At least 2 weeks, but whatever date Judge Simpson feels comfortable giving us.
See, that's how it's supposed to be. That's why we need a Hughes back. That's why. See, that's how you treat a judge. You know, that's what I'm saying.
You.
Everybody else says, I'm picking my date. I'm doing this. See, that's how it works. Thank you, Ms. Hughes.
Of course.
We can do the 24th or the 31st. Which one do you like?
Either works for me, Mr. Simon.
Same. Since I have already matters on the 31st,
I don't care about
how about the 24th?
Will the 31st work for you, Ms. Hughes?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, then that's a date we'll pick for Ms. Hughes. August 31st, 2023, 9 a.m. is your bond. As your Zoom invite indicates, bond continued. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls the case. People versus Brian Kobalars. We had the Vincent hour. This is the Simon hour. Yeah, so peanuts.
Michael Dobie for the people.
Your Honor, and Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Kobalars. Mr. Kobalars, will you state your name, please?
Brian Kobalars.
Right.
And Your Honor, in this case, we're asking the court to set the matter for in-person preliminary examination. Both parties have consulted their respective witnesses and their professional calendars, and we have a date, Your Honor. I hate to suggest, but what if I said Mr. Dobie picked the date?
That would be a
okay,
lie.
that'll work. It's you. That's the problem.
Your Honor,
I've agreed to the date suggested by Mr. Simon.
That's more accurate. September 12th, if the court will approve.
And that does work for our victim.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll do it. September 12th, preliminary examination in person, September 12th, 2023, 9 a.m. before Judge Barr.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Bond continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls the case. People versus Andrew Olson.
Alec Chabalowski for the people, Your Honor.
And Your Honor, Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Olson. Mr. Olson, will you unmute and state your name, please?
Andrew Olshed.
Your Honor, in this case, I've submitted to the courts and to the people a referral order for criminal responsibility examination. I also supplied a notice of intent to assert that defense. I'm asking the court to adjourn the probable cause conference in considerable length of time, as long as 60 days, to allow for that examination.
All right.
No objection.
I ordered the forensic evaluation because I guess technically that's what I'm doing. Then I'll set a probable cause for September 28th, 2023, 9 a.m. Bond continued.
Thank you, Your Honor. And Mr. Fleming is now in the meeting.
Court calls the case, People State of Michigan versus John Allen Fleming.
Alec Chabalowski for the people.
Your Honor, Joe Simon on behalf of Mr. Fleming. Mr. Fleming, will you state your name, please?
John Fleming.
Your Honor, in this case, I just substituted in at the beginning of the week, but Mr. Chabalowski got me everything, and he got it to me very timely. But I just started to really review it in earnest with my client. I'm asking to adjourn the PCC maybe to the 24th, if that date is available. But then I have one other request regarding bond.
Probable cause will be adjourned August 24th, 2023, 9 a.m. or as your Zoom invite indicates. Yes, as to bond.
Your Honor, it's more of a clarification than a request. I wasn't here for the arraignment. I substituted in, as I just indicated. My client is on probation presently to another court. He has a medical marijuana card and is allowed to use medical marijuana. He mentioned that at the time of the arraignment, he tells me in this case, and the court allowed him to use marijuana for medical purposes. But the order, when I checked that, says otherwise. It's the box is checked, and maybe it's a default check that says no marijuana. So I don't know if the court file reflects anything on this, because the physical order has no use of marijuana checked.
It is checked. So I think there's a Court of Appeals basis, well, there is, which is right on point regarding that. And I really don't think there really needs to be a clarification, but I will do this. I will indicate he may use marijuana with a card. Or just marijuana medical, I'll put, and then that should solve that problem, hopefully. All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bond will continue. Thank you.
Sir, there was one other thing. The testing. I'm sorry, is my lawyer available?
Yeah, John, what is that you want to say?
So they said that they would accept the test results from my probation, provided that was okayed through the court as well, I believe. The lady at Community Corrections, she said that that's not typically an issue. It just has to be, I don't know, they need something from the court saying that that's okay, I guess.
Which probation, who are you testing through?
It's Adam out of Jackson and Canton. I go to either one. So they got me testing 3 times a week right now. So
okay, so here's what we'll do. Mr. Simon and Mr. Chabalowski, if you guys can put together an order, I'm not going to have a problem with that. In order that you can agree on, then we can do the testing. The only requirement is that the results of his testing would have to be reported to Community Corrections.
Sure.
And I'll have him, and I'll also forward his card to Community Corrections and Mr. Chabalowski as well.
All
his
right.
medical card. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, sirs.
You're welcome. Court does call the case. People versus Edwin Ullman.
Caitlin Kirby on behalf of the people.
Good afternoon, Stephen Barker on behalf of the defendant.
we have a show cause versus me to deal with also.
Right. All right. What are we doing on the case itself?
At this point, Your Honor, we would ask to set it for a preliminary examination.
He does have a bench warrant. Yeah. Where is he? Is he on here?
He is on there, Your Honor. I would indicate as far as the bench warrant, we did go to the district courthouse to turn ourselves in. They said that the magistrate could not address the bond issue and told us to just appear today.
Here's what I'll do. I'll cancel the bench warrant, reinstate previous bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I will also cancel the show cause as to you. And
yes, Your Honor. And just to let the court know what happened, it was my fault. I got lazy and skipped right to the final notice instead of looking at the first two, and so did not see the change of password.
All right. Well, I just say this, Mr. Barker, you've always been courteous when coming to court, but that one day right before that, when you were getting on the prosecutor to get themselves together as the intern was trying to explain to you what Ms. Kirby was doing, your behavior in this court's opinion was unacceptable.
I do apologize. I do apologize, Your Honor. I'd gone through great deal of trouble to get to the film that the police and the prosecutor's office had asked for to the prosecutor's office. So I was somewhat frustrated that nobody had looked at it.
Well, no, it had been looked at, but Ms. Kirby wasn't there. And the intern was just trying to get information from you as to specifically what you were looking for. That was part of the problem. You weren't listening and you kept going around in circles. And then you made that rather disparaging comment about the prosecutor's office. And I don't mind attorneys fighting, but that was it was just uncalled for. And then the problem is that once you do that, what you don't think about is the next week I mess up and then I end up in trouble. So maybe you'll just keep that in mind.
Yes, sir. I stand corrected and I do apologize.
All right. I will set this in for preliminary examination. I will set it is the 22nd. Will that work for everybody?
22nd will be fine, Your Honor.
August 22nd, 2023, 9 a.m. And that is before Judge Washington.
And Your Honor, I would thank the court for the privilege of showing up on Joe Simon Day.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. We are all thrilled, right? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'll reinstate its previous bond. I should have put that on there. Okay, that's it for my 3 o'clock. We'll be back at 4 o'clock with a few matters we have to take care of. Court stands in recess. Miss Dodosh, are you leaving me? I can't hear you, but I think you're trying to say goodbye. I know. I don't know what it is with the microphone.
Say goodbye for the last time, so maybe she should check.
No way.
Yeah.
And I can't hear her?
No, we can't hear you, Karma.
Oh, Ms. Dodosh, it's been a pleasure. Let me just say, having you before the court, you have done a wonderful job and ought to be proud of yourself. And what I'm hoping is that in the future that you'll come back to see us, or maybe just drop this old judge a note and let me know how you're doing. Okay. All right. You take care of yourself. Bye-bye. All right. Court stands in recess.